addicted to you. Visions of you. Come closer, 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 closer. Come closer, 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 closer. Visions of you. Intoxicated, I'm a waste. Hoping I can drown the sorrows, but I love that bitter hoping that I'll make it tomorrow, but right now I can't feel my face. I'm intoxicated, I'm a waste. Hoping I can drown the sorrow, but I love that bitter taste. Visions of you. Come closer. Half past 9 and I can't see straight. I'm hoping that I'll make it tomorrow, but right now I can't feel my face. I'm intoxicated, I'm a waste. Hoping I can drown the sorrows, but I love that bitter taste. Visions of you.
Shoot him in seconds.
Hello. Welcome. Hi Thomas, thank you for speaking over me. How you doing all today? We're here for the seeding for the national side of the Cwpan 3. Hope you're all doing well. I'm Miles. I'm here for the first time on the BITM channel, and I'm joined by Niranta. If you want to say hello, welcome yourself.
Hello, I'm also finally here.
Yeah.
Also, I think the first time on this channel. Wow.
Yeah, no, it's fun, it's exciting. Especially exciting because of all of the last minute sorting out that we're doing with the match adminning. But it should be okay. The players are arriving into the server as we speak. And it should be a fun seeding event. I think I'm expecting some close Trackmania to go on today because the number of spaces we have available is pretty limited for the number of players I think who have the skill to make it into the live finals. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, we have like, I think 12 or 13 people that different people think are in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting to see.
Yeah.
Especially for the bottom places.
Absolutely. And especially because I feel like some of the players you might consider top, maybe locks in for qualifying, might be slightly less prepared than you might think. I know Babs, for instance, has not had the opportunity to open the maps in the last week. So it'll be interesting to see how well he's been able to perform, considering he's only just got back from Red Bull Faster. Is that Thomas's baby I just heard?
Sorry, I thought I was on mute. My bad. Hello, I'm also here.
Hello, Thomas's baby. The third streamer that we always needed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obviously last week we had Jake, and it's hard to replicate that. So I thought, 6-month-old baby.
Yeah,
it's a classic joke.
You needed a similar level of, Trackmania intellect, of, you know, analysis that can be provided. Yeah. So, should we talk about some of the players that we have playing today then? So, obviously, we have some of our favorites that have performed consistently in previous Cymru events. We have, you know, our 2-time reigning champion Acros. We're expecting him to be here today, and he has turned up. Fantastic. We have other consistent performers such as Babs, Comrade Louis. We have KJ. Do we call him a consistent performer? I guess we do. He's scored prize pool in previous events. And then a long list of other players who are, you know, very interesting, could really show up and perform. Gareth Wed, Bella Bruce, Twiddies, Howl, Yepad, of course. Yeah, lots. Oh, Samioka. Man, there's lots of names that could really perform today.
KJ has formed, or has taken on the role as the sort of canary in the coal mine. In the first Cup and Cymru, obviously, the first time we were doing a LAN event, especially for the Welsh lot, and he came fourth, and he was like consistently fourth. And then in the second one, we got a lot more interest, a lot more people taking part, and then he was not fourth. He didn't qualify, and I think he's a good indication of the skill level of the region in a nice way for KJ. In that, like, if he qualifies eighth, I think he's a natural 8th, 9th place player in this group. And so if he outperforms that, that's interesting. And then if he doesn't qualify, then that's interesting because it means the skill level has gone up.
Yeah, it's something that I definitely noticed when I was looking through some of the past results of Cwpan Cymru 1 and 2 early this morning, that I think it really shows the growth in the Welsh scene that you guys have been able to, you know, perform over these last couple of years. In that, it just feels like the list of players competing is just getting longer, and it's getting more and more strong. You know, lots of players who, you know, you would never be surprised to be seeing doing well in in-person LAN. You know, it doesn't feel like this is a small national event anymore. This is Welsh players who are very, very good, performing at a pretty high level, and it's really, really great to see. So it is now 12. This was the time that we gave players to arrive into the server. I have no concept of whether everyone who should be here is here. I'm seeing about...
I think there should be 15 and there's 18. So I think that's good, right? Because there's 15 plus 3 spectators, I think.
Plus us, exactly. So what I think
15,
we'll do is we'll give 2 more minutes for players just to settle in, and then we'll restart the server, and we'll get into the first map. So I know right now I'm currently watching players driving around on Castell. I'm gonna mispronounce everything, Thomas. Thankfully, I have a Welsh person here to help me through if I do completely miss the hoop with some of these pronunciations. And yeah, there's some very good times being driven already.
Do we know how many people are offline pracking for this? Like, I think like Acros was, Babs.
Yeah, it might be some more than we realize. There's definitely some players with some very, very good, strong online times. I know Howl in particular. I think he has 2 of the 4 national records. Acros has one of them, and then, well, Louis. I knew he was offline pracking for this event, but he accidentally set a live record in rounds when he set his round server to do the wrong map. So that's classic. So yeah, he has been offline pracking, so we're expecting to see some pretty good times from him. But for the most part, it seems like a lot of players have been being honest, driving their times online, not hiding anything from us. And that's great to see, because it gives me, especially, a little bit of help with comparing the players' online times. Yeah. And it's tough because there's definitely some players who are higher up on the TA rankings than we maybe expected them to be. Maybe expect them to perform today in rounds. Howl especially, if he can perform like his TA current TA performance, which is number 1 ranking, then yeah, that would be fantastic to see.
Howl is such an interesting character in that regard, in that he is so good at TA, so good at grinding. You see that not just in TM 2020 campaigns, but also TM2 and Turbo and other games like that. Hates rounds. Is like not built for rounds at all. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he can make the top 8. I think probably the only person in this group that you would expect to have such a strong TA standing, and you're still like, well, maybe they make it, maybe they don't. And I think that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're just going to let the players finish up their current round that they're on, and then we will restart the server. So if you could, so I don't have chat permissions. This is something that we need to make sure everyone is aware of. I do not have in-game chat permissions because I've not given them a picture of Hylas. So yeah, if Neranto, could you send the players that message in chat, and then we'll restart.
Yeah, let me figure out. Oh, perfect. Someone else did it. Nice.
I think who was that? Was that Jake?
But I don't know how to change the warm-up timer down to 3 minutes. Or is it 3 minutes?
It is 3 minutes. So perhaps we are live, I'm thinking.
Yeah, seems like.
It sure seems like it. So should we get onto the correct overlay models? Perfect. So we are here live with the first of the warm-up rounds. So another thing that I need to admit to you guys is, whilst I have played these maps a lot and I have a decent idea about what good times are, I'm not a look at the splits Andy. So if I see someone they might be on fantastic splits, I will have absolutely no concept of how fast they're driving, because, yep, I'm a hard-off gamer.
I'm always amazed when people are like, oh, 0.4 on the 8th checkpoint there. And I'm like, what? How do you know that? Like, without, like, I've done it previously when doing production. I used to have the final 2 checkpoints and the world record pace for those checkpoints written down so that I could just shout to the casters, like, world record pace or watch out or something like that. But in no way, like, I would not remember it round to round, if that makes sense. Like, I would have to look it up every time.
It's always amazing that for players, at least to me, who can seem to carry so much information and can pick up on it immediately in the middle of the round as well. Because I think I'm fairly good at the game, but I cannot focus on more than one thing at a time. I can't even change camera mid-gaming. So, yeah, it's always super, super impressive to me. Every time I click on a new player, they stop driving. Let's focus on Gareth for a little bit. So, good times to expect on this map. So, the current world record on this map is a 53.9 by Yossi, which is incredibly fast. The only player to drive us up to 54 so far. But our national record, like I've said before, it's Howl. He has a 54.0. Yeah, a really fantastic time. I've only got a 0.2, and yeah, I have no concept of how to drive this map any faster. So, but I think
how did you both find this map? Obviously, Cup of the Day, which was big, great for Lawn Mode to have that. Minor alterations since the Cup of the Day, including taking the training wheels off at the start. How have you found this map as a comp map?
I'll let Neranto take this question, because you might not want my opinion.
Well, for this format, right, with the not crashing, I spent so much time practicing the end, right? Because, like, if you crash onto this end, you lose like 10 points, right? Because like 10 to 12 people overtake you. And then you have to catch up a lot of points. So it was like really nightmarish. Like the first 30 seconds you relax, and then you have this jump drift, which is really important. We will see probably people crash there. And then you have to set up for the end.
Here we go. Let's see, how many going left? How many going right? Most going left, a few going right. I see Babs was practicing that line. I call it the good focus line going left. But Babs has decided to head straight forward. It sort of comes out even, which is interesting.
It's interesting that I especially saw quite a few of the players we might expect to perform really well in seeding not taking this alternate line at the start.
Maybe it's about that not crashing versus being faster, right? Like, it might be worth half a tenth, but it does increase your chances of crashing because you have 2 things you can clip instead of just the 1, right?
Currently have a really great race at the front here between Sammy and Acros, perhaps the defining old guard versus new guard that we've got going on. Sammy is someone I'm fascinated to watch today because, you know, I had no idea how good they were at all up until a round session maybe a week ago when I was like, holy, they're good. Look at that!
Oh my god, that is...
What a race.
So, That is good pace.
Those times are really good.
Yeah, fantastic.
I think so. What's cool about Sammy is so we've done. Obviously, this is the third iteration. Sammy has attended both previous versions of Cup and Cymru. Obviously, as a fan of his brother. And the first time he went, there's sort of the Acros contingent came. Obviously, it was a much sort of smaller event, and we were in, like a IT room of a student union. And they were kind of off into the corner, and we spoke to them, but they were very, separate and whatnot in their group. And then the second time, they were just way more into it, like cheering along, chatting. I had a pretty long conversation with Sammy, and he was like, "This is so amazing. Thank you so much for doing this," like, et cetera, et cetera. And then a week later, all of a sudden, he starts setting top 5 campaign times in the Wales, which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's not the most hotly contested group, but a top 5 is pretty good for someone who had seemingly, and I found out, had literally just picked up the game properly, then enjoyed the LAN, was like, this was really cool, and so it was like, right, I'm gonna take it really seriously. And then so all of this progress is since last Cup and Cymru, which is less than a year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I think I keep a relatively close eye on players who are, in the UK and performing well, and trust me, I had no clue how good Sammy was until a week and a half ago, and I was like, this guy is very, very, very good, and it's that's the unfortunate sight of the finish on this map, where there is a gear that you have to get, and if you don't, you will very, very sadly limp into the bottom arm of the finish block. Oof.
Apparently I'm very loud. I'm getting reports that I'm very loud.
Okay.
Oh, Basie? Twiggy, what's the issue, Twiggy? Diagnose my audio. Twiggy is an audio engineer by trade.
The bass is a little bit high, yeah.
Okay.
Just so loud.
Just...
Is Neorantu also loud?
By the way, just to say, Jake got third in the last round. We talked over it, but I did not expect him to be in the top 4.
I mean, Jake has had a WWE heel moment in this event where he was pretending, he was doing the typical Jake thing of oh yeah, I'm not pracked, maps suck, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden apparently has got 48 hours in the maps. And can I just point out, it's so heartwarming to see Sam and Acros have the same lag at the same time. It's nice that that's inherited.
Absolutely.
Wait, that is crazy.
Nah, 54.2 is... That's 4th world, right? 5th? That's a crazy round time.
What was the final time? Sorry, I was just trying to sort out the audio.
54.2.
54.2 is a fantastic round time. Was that Acros again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Really good performance. After this round, we'll take a look at the standings and see where everyone is landing up. I think some of the people who I had down to be really, really performing, I haven't actually seen them in some of the top finishing positions of the round, say Louis, Babs as well. I mean, I can't hide all my bias, and I think some people like Gareth and Bellaboos, I think, have been performing very well.
Awesome!
That was a hard crash. I did that exact crash in the RC last weekend, and it tilted me so badly.
It's sort of, I think so I'm sure people have opinions on that corner. My opinion is that considering how insane it is in the sense of you have that really tight section and then you have the drift you land into, I think it actually plays surprisingly well. But it does bait you into, you can push, and then it just snaps. And there's no, that's the end of that. And then you have to reset it, and you have to be okay, now I have to change how I approach this again.
Howl in second place. This is one of his better maps from the TA. At the moment, it appears he is converting it into some very good rounds as well.
I'm just so happy to see so many competitive players.
Sammy flying off to the left.
Oh, Sammy, back-to-back issues there. That's really going to cause problems.
It's good to see Babs back onto a good round because he's had a very difficult start. I think he was 10th in the stand. He was outside of the qualifying spots. But I think one thing I did learn as well as last weekend is I think I was outside of the top 8 coming out of the first map. So it really isn't the be all and all. If you have a terrible first map,
exactly.
A tiny touch.
Especially last map was really difficult.
Last map being, of course, the Spaco map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting that quarter pipe.
Crow's currently still on the perfect seeding session. I wonder if we will see it. The perfect session.
No, Sammy. Oh God. Is he DNFing? That
He's
would
got
be
time. He has
huge.
time.
By the way.
That's enough speed, 100%. How many points was that? How did that save him? 6
7,
points, I think I saw.
6.
Yeah.
Should be about 5.
Is Jake doing it? Nope. Looking at the top 10.
Currently falling off the bat, although there were rumours and allegations that there was potential for head loss in map 1 from Jake, so I assume this is his least favourite.
I think this is a very tricky map to have as your first map up, because there's lots of things that can go wrong, especially things that you don't even realise that could go wrong, and they will on the day.
You're like, oh, that's the first time I've ever clipped this. This is cool.
I had 3 instances of that last weekend. I think Hendo map that's the one that a lot of people would probably say they would want to start with, just to get themselves into the groove. Although it can be annoying dropping back here. Acros, what are these splits?
I love the comparison between all the maps. Like when I boot them up and I'm like 2 seconds off pace. I'm not good at Trapmania. I mean, that's always been apparent. But on the Hendo map, that's way more positions because it is so pacey. Like it's kind of on rails for the good players. And oh, Babs.
He's into the finish at least. So that was the final round on. Is it Castel or would you pronounce it Castel?
Castech, I guess.
Castech. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's hard. I've got sore throat, so it's slightly hard to.
So the double L is like a sound.
Yeah, it's like a GCH for lack of a bit, like
GZH. That hasn't helped.
G, like G for like G, Castech. I don't know. Yeah, Yapad has the thing. Anyway, so now on to Short Notice, a map that was originally going to be called something much more disparaging to me until I
I may have seen
told
that.
Hendo to change it.
I may have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This map, I mean, you know, Hendo's Hendo, right? Like, I had 4 mappers, and he's like, do you want a map? And I'm like, no, I've got 4 mappers. And then I had 3 mappers drop out, which is significantly more than you would hope for. And I filled with Lawnmow, with Spacco, and then by the time the final mapper dropped out, I was ready to just only have 3 maps. And then Hendo like appeared, like Mercy from Overwatch, and was like, oh yeah, well, here's just a completely unrelated map to the one I originally offered you. Have a go. And you just watch the replay, you play the streamable, you play the map, sorry, and then you just go, oh, great, this map, we can ship it. Like, just put some signs on it and it's done. Like, it's incredible how fully finished this map came across, despite it not being fully finished. Like, the only person who had any notes on it was Hendo himself.
Yeah.
Who was having an entire conversation with himself in the map feedback channel.
That's very Hendo. I have spoken to him quite a few times about his map making process, and he seems to find more issues in his own maps than anyone else.
Yeah.
No, this map I can talk a little bit on as well, because it must have been maybe November of last year that Hendo sent me a route, being like, you know, what do you think? Could you give it a test? Is there anything going on? And it was this route. So this is a long time in the making this map. I had no idea until the map pack released that this is the one that I had looked at about 6 months ago. And the only thing I had found, which I was like, okay, this map is great, honestly, it's perfectly fine. I was like, your current middle section, the dirt, you can keep 4th when you're supposed to be dropping to 3rd. I think it was. It may have been the other way around. But we need to take a look at this because, you know, the gearing is just, there's something just not quite right. And we must have spent 2 hours back and forth being like, I just don't understand how you keep this gear, or I don't understand how you keep losing it. And then that may have been what caused the map to get shelved for the longest time, which is I think what Hendo is confirming in the chat right now.
Anyway, little leaderboard check-in. So Akros on the perfect run just yet. Howell in 2nd place, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Falaxo and Gareth 3rd and 4th is a surprise. In that, not so much that they're doing well, but that there's some notable names missing. So Louis bringing up that group in 5th. Belarus, born to be 6th. He has been 6th every time. I think he's been 6th in every seeding and every LAN event, if I'm not mistaken. Yapad 7th is in the middle of A-levels, I believe, so hasn't practiced much. And then Babs and KJ tied for 8th. Not a sentence I thought we'd say coming into today.
Yeah. Nearanto, what are your thoughts on this map? How did you find it in practice?
Oh, this was the most relaxing one. Just in terms that you are not afraid to crash. It's more like you need to push every round, but it isn't as scary. So like you enjoy it more to practice. You will get like good rounds times and everything. Like we will see like really close races here if we ignore across.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like close races in this seeding. I think the story of this whole seeding is perhaps that if we ignore a crows, this is very, very, very close. We had a bit of a situation last week where it did feel like 8 players were sort of making a bit of a gap between the rest of the field. But thankfully, I don't think we're going to get that today. I think we're going to get right until the very last map. We're going to get some very, very close rounds and some tense rounds as we get towards the deciding points. Oh, there's a pole there, KJ. Yeah, so that was a 50.60 from Akros, and probably a faster time than any was driven last week, which, is a real sign that Akros has the talent to not only, probably win the National, but has a very good shot of winning the National, and then also go very far in the Open. Perhaps we should also mention the Irish flag we're seeing on Babs. I think at this point, many know Babs as someone who has been competing in previous Cymru's.
Oh my god, it's happening.
Was that a crash from Akros?
It's happening.
On Hendo's map? Louis will take those 20 points all the way to the bank. How bad was that? +9. Oh, that was a painful crash, actually. Lots of points lost. Oh, it's really tight at the leaderboard. What is that?
If you want insight into the life of a parent, by the way, I'm currently negotiating a Pokemon card trade between 2 kids. Because they want to do a trade, only to make sure it's not like one of those outrageous trades where one kid is actually giving away like a 30-quid card.
Oh god, the scamming that goes on school.
Not even that, they're just completely ignorant of it, really. But it's just that,
The other half of it, yeah. It's 50% ignorance, 50% malice.
Wow, this race is really close.
I think, Akros has had a middling start. Howell up at the front, Sammy too.
Howell is geek dark horse behavior at the moment. This is he's been hustling.
I think some talking down of himself in the Discord chat as well has led to that too. I think he's kept a low profile. He's tried to convince others that he's not the one. And what was that? Oh, what a finish! 0.791 and then 2 players on a 795. But of course, a Crows wins anyway.
You see my screenshot of last week's seeding where 3 of you had a tied time at the end of the RPG map.
Yeah, I would have loved to have. I don't think I watched it back. I would have loved to have actually seen it because it's the kind of map as well where you can have wildly different speeds at the end. So I'd imagine like we were all sort of converging into each other and just.
Yeah, well, I found it interesting because I was like, when I saw it, it's like, oh, is it one of those maps that only has like all finishes are 0.7s or 0.2s at the end, And then I was looking through the results, so I was like, oh no, this was just a legit tie for,
Yeah, by the way, between 4th and 9th right now is 4 points.
Incredibly close, isn't it? And when we're seeing people like, say, Jake and Louis, who are maybe towards the lower end of that, and on a good round, you can see that leaderboard closing up even more.
4 points is just one tiny hit in the last round, you're out.
What round was that? That was round number 4. Yeah. We're now seeing, was that Jake pulling a bit closer to the top 8? Yeah, Babs losing ground on the top 8. I think it's also worth mentioning too that, of course, this is the national qualifier. So the top 8 here will go into the first day of the national LAN and competing for their own set-aside prize pool. where the top 2 players from that national LAN will then go into the open version of the LAN at the top 6 stage. However, if you miss qualifying for this today, that you can then have another go in the last chance qualifier in, is it next weekend, Thomas? I think it might be. Or is it the following?
It's next week.
It's next week, is it? Perfect. So yeah, so a lot of these players who may be coming in 9th, 10th, 11th today, they'll have another shot next weekend, and they'll be some of their favourites perhaps as the players in that last chance qualifier. That was a very punishing finish crash from somebody there. Need to reset and take the finish again. What we're now seeing, I think, there is, yeah, I think Louis had a very, very difficult first map and is now, yeah, cruising a little bit more as we're getting into what he would call a lot more of a normal map. Another good start for Howell. What is the... Do you don't know what the tag is on Howell's car? MKY? It's new to me.
No idea.
Yeah, new to me. Lots of trackiest tags.
Someone's gone.
In the field, which is another thing that I think is always great to see, and I think it's a big part of perhaps why the Welsh scene is doing so good. Is there seems to be quite a close link between the trackiest lot and the Welsh community.
In my head, it's like Dullahan Academy.
Kinda,
Like
but they're getting quite good.
like it sort of fills that role. It's like so that again, when I did the first Cup in Cymru, there was a sort of document I put out along with it, which was very much around like why, what the goals are of this tournament, and obviously get to play Trackmania and have fun was part of it. But the whole thing was like I want to. We have lots of people who are really good at campaign, but we want to see them do more in the actual competitive scene. And I never would have expected, but Team Trackist has basically been that avenue for so many of these players to like take it more seriously and start competing. So that's really cool. The combination of Cup and Cymru and that team has really pushed it forward.
And I was about to say a big part of who you can thank for that is Doc, and here we are arriving on Doc's map himself.
So when all compliments stop for Doc.
Trackist started as a mapping team, is my understanding. With the track thing stuff, or maybe just a mapping community with the track thing stuff club. And it sort of spawned into this competitive team where now not only are they doing mapping and creating fantastic maps like this, the one you see before you, but also some very good players too. What was your thoughts on this map? What is Sammy doing? Sorry. What was your thoughts on this map, Nearhunter?
This one is, I think every player that I talk to is struggling with the dirt outside. I don't know if we have a player right now there, but it's like an upper dirt. You have to fully sand it, and we will probably see like 2 to 3 player crash every round there. And then the end is also a bit tricky if you want to push it for the exit speed.
Yeah, I would describe this map as very, very, very pacey. There is a lot of time you can gain, which you probably won't in rounds. Like the fastest times that we'll see here are probably going to be some of the furthest away from the world record on any of the maps, because of the sheer amount of time that you can gain from, especially at the end, ball sending in a way that in rounds you probably shouldn't be doing, unless if you're incredibly confident. We'll actually watch Louis come to the end. I guess we won't. Watch Howell, yeah. So it's this regrip here, pushing out as wide as you can, avoiding the wall on the left, but also, again, keeping as much speed as you can, whilst also still getting the angle to not crash into the wall at the top. It's very, very, very difficult, and the change that got made to the map during feedback made it even more so. There used to be a small item that was a bit annoying and a bit, in the driving line, but when that got removed, the space that you got to then push that regrip really, really, really opened up, and I think the world record dropped by a good point too as a result.
What I love about every dock map is that it always has this little regrip section where you like send, grip, and then it holds. I think we've had that in every single dock map for Cup and Cymru, which is like a little dock Classic. Which I quite like.
Doc loves these old wall blocks as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think I remember the finish on last year's map was like a tight section with those walls into the finish.
Right, here we go.
Don't forget the leaderboard.
Oh yes, shoot, we meant to do that, weren't we?
It's really close again for the top 8.
Yeah, so Akros is up top. Yapad had a really good second map. Louis had a good second map. Howell dropping a bit back. Gareth is going from either second or third to 7th. And then Babs at 158. Belarus and Jake at 157. And then we still have 2 players in at 142. So this is very close indeed.
Especially that 5th to 9th, 10th range is incredibly close at the moment. We're seeing this outside dirt being handled. One crash. But just the one crash from the leading group. That's, really impressive considering how much you can just completely barrel into the wall on the outside dirt. Looking the pole. Easily done. Inside drift. Yep, well managed by the lot. Straightening out here at this plastic exit to get the most speed you can into this dirt section, which then carries into the outside and then pushes you up the hill. And Akros and Babs doing it the best. 0.4, 0.5, very, very fast time for rounds. That was what I would say. World record on this map is a 0.018. I have talked with Yossi about this, and we both agree that this map can definitely go below 52. That's just how much time there is to gain, and that was a fantastic round by Akros, and still so much time is available. God, that point total.
An important round for Babs as well. Now finally pushing into the top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is quite a comfortable map, I would say, when you're someone who plays lots of mixed comp competitions. It feels very routine to drive if you're not worrying about pushing too hard. So that's why I feel like Babs today on this map is pulling it back.
It looks rapid. Actually fighting here with the crows.
Should we go take a look at that?
To
very close to the poles there from Babs.
I find what I'm very interesting obviously is, you look at Cup and Cymru 1 and 2 and you're like, oh, Akros won them both, move on. Let's see what we have in Cup and Cymru 3. Babs won the best of 3 at Cup and Cymru 2. He just lost the final. He beat him in 2 of the 3 matches, and in the first match it was by 59 points. So Babs really is, a sort of secret potential here to actually go all the way and take it off Akros, but at the same time Akros is massively pushing still, and I think has improved year on year, while the rest of the group tries to catch up.
Babs is someone who has loads and loads and loads of talent. Whoops, that's my fault. My bad. Apologies, Babs. He's someone with loads and loads and loads of talent that you just feel like you don't always get to see, because I think he's just a very, very busy person. So when you can see a full trained Babs, it's a delight to watch, because he's very, very, very good. On that last round, we saw the example of what I was saying at the end with the pushing. Babs and Akros were within a tenth of each other going into this mini dirt outside here. Akros nailed the outside regrip there, and I think he gained 0.2, 0.3 to Babs at the end. 0.40, fantastic time. Right. Oof. And with that crash, look at these point tally towards the bottom down here. 204, 204, 201, 200, 199. This is fantastically close.
Watching KJ slowly slip down the leaderboard is killing me a little bit inside. I was believing after that first map.
He had a very good first map, didn't he?
Ooh, derp! No.
Dropped the gear there, but it's not the most punishing gear drop. It's maybe 0.1. The wall touch, slightly more punishing. Let's get off KJ before and make him crash any more times. So is this now? Is this still just the 1 round dropped from Acros? Because he had 9.
two.
He had 9 points on that 1 round, if I remember right.
I think he lost 2 rounds. One against Barbs and one where he crashed on the Hender map.
That was round
309.
4, so that puts us at 16 with 20. So
Yeah.
320. Yeah, you're right.
It's just the 1 round.
Well, I think if he had the 9 pointer, then that would be just the 1 round. ECM might be live and updating. Who knows?
If someone typed in the
If someone,
PPI.
yeah.
I've been informed by Giblets in chat that a crow's dropped around because he choked on his tea.
That is incredible.
Thank you for that
For
inside
those of you who don't
information.
know, Giblets, Acros' dad.
Exactly, yeah.
I think so. I used to have so many people in keeping track would be like, "How did you get into Stratmania?" And they're like, "Oh, my dad used to play it in the 2000s and like took it pretty seriously." And all I want to do, and I don't have the budget for it, but Nadeo hit me up, is a dad and lad Stratmania event, or parent and child, or some sort of relationship that isn't just siblings or cousins, because there is a surprising amount of dads and lads and folks who like it could be a very funny tournament.
Do you know whether Acros and Giblets is a Giblets played first and then Acros played, or the other way around?
That is a very good question.
Maybe perhaps Giblets could let us know in chat if
I
he
don't know how to
plays
say this
because
politely.
Acros
Giblets, I'm also not great at the game, but I have a feeling it was Acros first.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I think that idea is very, very cute, especially because I think a lot of top players, especially whose dads played years and years and years and years ago and introduced them to the game, they probably don't play anymore at all.
Yeah, no,
But it'd
exactly.
be very, very cute watching maybe people like Grenadi, whose dad taught him to play when he was 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Then coming back to this game.
Wow, what a great story! I wonder where you heard that from,
inspired their son,
Miles.
right?
What episode was that, Miles? Can you remember?
Of the Keeping Track podcast.
Keeping Track community podcast, which I can't do anymore because I don't have time. Open to a good host. If you can make a compelling argument, anyone can take it over. What I've always wanted to do as well is have some way of creating a comp map which has like easy and hard routes, but you force specific people to take specific routes, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So you could have one track and you'd have an easier route for the parents and a harder route for the pros. And the idea would be that like the easier route's like 2 or 3 seconds a lap faster.
Well, you've got one sign up from Giblets. He's saying they're up for it. He's too addicted to iRacing at the moment. He'd be damn well up for
That's
it.
what I think.
Yeah, so going into the final map, we have a top 10 who have separated themselves from the pack. I feel like Dirk and KJ are perhaps too far off the bottom of the leaderboard to really pull themselves back in. But
if there was a map for it, Miles,
this is the one. But yeah, 8th, 9th, 10th, Jake, Gareth, Bruce at 237, 237, 235. This is unbelievably close. And Babs and Sammy can't feel safe on this map either. This is a dangerous map to be close to the bottom of the qualification on. And it's great to see
let's do
Babs.
leaderboard check-in.
Second place.
Maybe we should have a jingle.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last round, and soon we'll see who makes the top 8 and who will have to play in the Open next weekend. It is time for our top 8 check-in with Nearanto.
Nice.
Yeah, situation is looking really stressful here. I think we have probably 5 players that feel pretty comfortable, but then we have 5 players fighting in a war situation here, trying to get into this lucrative top 8. And everything will be decided in the beginning, I think, with this jump. You can push this and gain like 0.2, 0.3 if you don't do a safe approach.
It's worth talking, absolutely, about Acros, where are you going, man?
Oh, he doesn't take warm-ups very seriously. He's a big going on an adventure type of guy.
I see.
Which I think is interesting.
I see. It's more fun than just sitting at the start line and refusing to drive. That's for sure. So Bruce is showing us one of the few big crash sites on this map, this section here, where you really want to drift in a way that holds the fourth gear the whole way up the curved scaffolding block. But I'll tell you from experience, that is so unbelievably difficult. Even I checked the world records before the stream. Second place on the world records does not hold that gear up that hill. It's only Yussi who does. It's unbelievably hard. Some of the other crash points, obviously, Neoranto mentioned it, the quarter pipe at about 15 seconds into the map. There's the engine off, where you have to go around a pillar and then avoid the left arm of the checkpoint just afterwards as well, is, I find, really, really difficult to get precisely correct. And then I would say
Twitties
this.
appears to be fast learning.
Who is fast
Or
learning?
they've really messed up their line.
Oh, Twitties.
Yep.
Yeah, so many tricky sections on this map. Even this bit here.
Twitties with
through
the,
grass, dodging the flags, avoiding the airtime.
Oh yeah.
So difficult.
Twitties has the sort of pub quiz answer of who has competed at a Cup and Company without qualifying for, which was Twitties the first year as they stand in when Steve wasn't able to make it. But here we go, final map. All things to play for. We're looking at that bubble, and Babs is a question mark because we do not expect him to be here. He's had a really good map. He has a little bit of RPG in him, so who knows? Maybe he'll be feeling at home here. Killian said he's got the French skin on for the RPG buff, which is good. Obviously, not an RPG map, asterisks, but yeah, this 8th place bubble is going to be really interesting. Normally, we're looking at like 2 or 3 people over that like 7, 8, 9, but this is like genuinely from Samioka in 6th all the way down to Belarus in 10.
I think
Failed it. Louis is there. On with Sammy. This is a round loss for Acros. Yep, if there was any map that was going to do it, it was this map. 54.2. Really, really good times. World record here is a
TM Fast TV rating with Pi 43. Welcome, TM Fast TV.
Welcome in. Welcome. You're joining us for the final map of the national seeding for Cwpan Cymru. We have a very, very tight, close situation going on at the bottom of the board, where top 8 qualify. We have 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th all on, separated by less than 10 at the moment. Unbelievable.
Oh my god, they're Australians. Good eye, mate. There you go. No worries, you can keep that one.
Fantastic accent. I think nailed it down to the T. Who was that? Did we just see flying out?
We saw 3 people crash. Oh no.
Like I said, that engine off
Babs
section.
has never double reset this checkpoint. Babs might DNF this round. He doesn't know you have to go super left on the double reset. Babs is still at the checkpoint.
Is he still at the checkpoint?
15 seconds away. What is the timeout?
15 seconds.
20, I think. Is it 15?
I think it's 15.
If it's 15, then he has to gain 0.4 in the first place.
Players that
that was
this
so
round
heartbreaking
got
to see.
better on that section there. It was very, very punishing on the previous round. Sammy going for the no slide line, getting 4th gear, and look at the time gain. What a finish
It's
from
20
Sammy.
seconds, okay.
Is
should
Did Akros just lift at the end? Did Akros lift to try and give his brother a round win? No, I don't think so, but...
They're in the same room, that's my question. Points secured for Babs.
That was a very hard-earned point from Babs there.
The end gear is difficult, as Killian says, especially because, I mean, I checked the world records this morning. Neither first or second, this is Yussi or Key, do the no slide at the end, which then gets you 4th gear just on the penalty. Both of them avoid it and then avoid that gear on the penalty, which is interesting because that no slide I would always thought was faster. But I see Acros fail the quarter pipe. He's not in this league group.
He crashed.
I feel like I should tell Spacco to mute their Discord messages for the next sort of 12 hours.
Especially after the LCQ.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be hands thrown.
Walking around for Babs here.
Painful to watch. Painful to watch. But Louis,
Oh my god.
has made it safely and is on a pretty good time. What's the finish time? 0.2. Yeah. Very good time. So the 0.6 that is world record is pretty unattainable. I've written down anything below a 54 here is a really, 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 really good time. And I think the only people I would really expect to see in rounds is maybe Acros or Yapad. I know Yapad has some very good pace on this map. How's the leaderboard checking out? Oh, Babs, 10 points adrift now with just 3 rounds remaining. Things are looking difficult. Stones is down there. Bruce, should we go on with Bruce? Successfully navigates the engine off, but with a difficult line through the RPG, he's going to lose several tenths to that.
I feel like in seeding you can sacrifice 2 tenths there.
Yeah. Oh, that was Louis flying off the map. Yeah. Absolutely. Especially because there's so many crash points on this map. Keeping it clean, dropping 0.6, 0.8 across the round, but securing your finish will probably get you that top 8 spot and the decent points that you need.
Look, I know people do be hating on that line. That little scaffolding line. Seeing everyone nail you sort of clip your back wheels on the sausage so that it dips down and then you are going faster. It feels Trackmania to me. I hate to break it, you know. It reminds me of TM2 maps.
I don't know if you two saw, but Babs was second, crashed and dropped down to 12.
Oh no!
I think Babs is in serious trouble. It's now really between Bruce and Gareth Wed, this final qualification spot. Those are the players we need to really keep an eye on.
Babs needs 14 points from 2 rounds.
He has the pace, but it is difficult.
Yeah, he must have just never crashed into the checkpoint before the quarter pipe before. Because not knowing that double respawn line was seemingly put him in a bad spot. Yeah, with the open seeding, most of the people, you know, didn't know me that well. I have a feeling I'm going to be fielding like a press conference after the national seeding. Sammy there dropping back, so that does give Babs an extra point. It all matters as we come to the end. How is he at the end? He snipes to second. That is what he needs when he needs it. 6 points on Gareth.
6 points on Gareth. Only 2 points on Bruce. Bruce with another very good round. Means
but they're both.
He needs another one of
at the
those.
heels of Gareth.
He really needs another of those.
Yeah, Gareth and Bellabrus thinking it's between them, and then Babs just
304 apiece. Oh my god.
Babs needs 8 points on both of them.
Oof. It means both have to crash.
Feels like it's a round win here for Babs. And then for Gareth and Bellabrus, it is just a 1v1 at the end.
Bruce with the best start of the two. In fact, where is Gareth?
Gareth's just behind.
There, just there. Babs still in the leading group.
Will they be sucking into fighting each other? The worst part for Babs here, everyone else crashing is against him, but I do believe that's Babs out. No, Babs is still going, but Gareth, oh my god, it's a race to the line. Together.
Bruce with more speed. Who lands earlier?
It's a race to the line
through
the air. It's Bellabrus.
Even. Oh. And Babs with the non-finish. GG. Congrats to Bellabrus
and everyone
for really clutching that at the
end.
In
all of the chaos, the impossible has happened. I'm doing this so that he can have the clip for the YouTube video that undoubtedly he's going to make. Okay, so we just have to really ham it up. You thought it wasn't possible. His teachers told him not to even try, but Jake Cotton has qualified for Cwpan Cymru.
Fantastic. What a story. What a story. The plucky underdog with 43 hours across the maps makes it.
So here we go. Run through Acros there with 448 points, really putting on a dominant display. Yapad, back-to-back years, coming second in seeding. Louis in third place, a sign of things to not come later as we go down. Falaxo, I believe, first time into Cup and Cymru. Sammy in fifth place, great showing there from Sammy. Howell in sixth, another great showing there. Jake in seventh, and the inevitable Belarus in eighth place. So we will be saying goodbye to Gareth from the national event, and we will very surprisingly be saying farewell to Babs. Derp as well, did play last year at the LAN event. KJ in 12th place, the Canary in the coal mine, still putting on a good showing. Twiddies, Adsad, and Crisper all bringing up the rear. Thank you very much to everyone who came along to seeding. Like we have mentioned, there is a last chance qualifier for the final rounds. Final spots in the Open coming up, which is eligible for all players, both Welsh and not Welsh. And great showing by all involved. And absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was a really entertaining day of qualifiers. Anyone who really surprised you today?
Jake in a good way, Babs in a bad way.
I think that's a great answer. What about you, Niranto? Who was your big surprise?
Louis in third.
Mhm.
I thought, especially since they were not practicing online, that wouldn't be that dominant. But third, and this roster here, so many great players.
So I can in fact inform you that there is some offlining going on there with Louis. So I myself maybe not too surprised. I am more surprised about Babs. I know he hadn't had the chance to open the maps since last week. And even this morning, I don't think he even really got like much more than an hour or two to open the maps. So I would have hoped to see him still manage to pull through, but he'll get his chance next week in the last chance qualifier. Thomas, did you want to talk about the last chance qualifier?
Yeah, so next Saturday, back to our regularly scheduled day for these events. Thank you, Red Bull. Love Red Bull. We will be doing the last chance qualifier. I think looking at numbers, it will be just a standard seeding event like we've done today. And then the unofficial Division 2 will take place afterwards, which I'll let the players organize between themselves, which is basically where we spin up the reverse cup mode servers and we run a top 8 bracket. Not everyone who qualifies for the LCQ will necessarily want to play it. Anyway, we'll let them sort that out amongst themselves. But yes, we will be filling up those final 8 spots in the Open with a mix of players from Wales and the rest of the world. Not the initial plan, but based on how many Welsh players wanted to play and the struggles elsewhere, it sort of is all panned out. It should work just fine. And the LAN event itself. So after next weekend, we will be taking a week off to all mentally prepare. And then June 6, 7, Miles, you're the only one on cam. You got to do it.
I did it. Don't worry. I did it.
Okay. There you go.
I'll
Wonderful.
assure you that I did.
Yeah, no, I was just waiting for the delay. June 6th and 7th, we will be taking place back to the same venue for the first time. Cardiff and Vale College in their main Dumbles Road campus. We will be competing in the LAN, and it's going to be pretty damn exciting. The national event will take place entirely on the Saturday, one hopes, with a top 8 double elimination bracket. And in the Open event, we will be going from 16 to 6 on Saturday, and then joining up with the top 2 from national for the final top 8 of the Open, taking place entirely on Sunday. So we're very much looking forward to all of that. It's an interesting format. I thought I'd get more flack for picking in some people from the national into the Open, but I think everyone's kind of looking forward to a chance to compete. Now, Miles, I'm not going to say you'll make it to day 2 because I don't want you to look like you have a giant ego. But if you did make it to day 2, who do you expect will come through from the national event, and who are you most scared of facing, let's say, from that group?
So I think it's very much a lock at this point that we'll see Acros make it through. I can't imagine a world where we're not seeing Acros coming out of the top 2 of the national. But that second place today, it's hard to say. If we can see Babs with a lot more practice time, and especially recent practice time, usually you would say he's your favorite to getting that second spot. But you said coming today that Yapad hadn't had the time fully to practice because of his A levels, and yet what did we just see? We saw him a comfortable second place ahead of the rest of the field. So those would be my 2 favorites, and it's all.
This is an international, Miles.
This is from the national, yeah.
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 Sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, it's all dependent on the practice time that those two can get in. I think those are your two big favourites for coming through the national.
Nieranto, who do you reckon's making it through from the national?
I'm gonna say Akros and either Babs or Killian. I'm a little bit biased. I'm gonna say Killian is gonna qualify and he's gonna do really great. Pressure is on. The Irish are good. I trust in them. There you go. Now, realistically, though, I'm excited to say Apad and Louis. Actually, I think they can also show something.
I don't know. I'd love to see Apad do really, really well. I think they've been improving really, really quickly recently, and from all accounts I've heard, they seem like a really lovely person too. So, if they can, really like lock in and pull it together, especially on that day of national, lock in the top two prize pool and then get the chance in the open, that'd be really, really sick to see.
Yes, Yapad is a wonderful person. We absolutely love Yapad. The funniest message I've ever got is when we announced the dates and they reached out and they were like, during my exams, can we move it? I was like, that's unfortunately not quite how events work, but I do appreciate the hustle. But no, I mean, they did really well in seeding last year, and then I don't want to say didn't turn up because I think Babs completely outperformed from seeding to the LAN event. Like, I think Babs actually thrives on LAN.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe after, because it was their first ever time playing on a LAN, maybe second time round, they're a bit more comfortable, and while they may have a little bit less prac going in, the sort of familiarity, and obviously as well, console player, and has to play LAN on PC, which is really interesting, and and there's a few things that come with that. I don't know if they've turned off vibrations, but the PS5 controller has vibrations in it when you're driving, and obviously you don't get that replicated on PC, so it's a very different environment for them.
This is news to me that when you play on console, you have vibrations in your controller. Like, why would you want that?
I can't quite explain it, but there are maps where it's a really good indication that you need to stop doing what you're doing. Like, once it vibrates, you like stop and then it straightens up, and like I found it quite useful.
Yeah, as someone,
I don't know why exactly it vibrates.
Yeah, as someone who only plays through the Wooting Uwu, I have to say vibrations perhaps not something that I would be wanting when I'm trying to get through a map. Yeah. Brilliant, cool.
Anywho,
so should we start to wrap things up there then?
Yeah, I don't know if we have the leaderboard exactly. I can't remember, but who knows? We'll see. Anyway, yes, congratulations to everyone involved. Thank you so much, Miles and Nieranto, for doing the stream. Apologies for my voice sounding awful and apparently being far too loud at the beginning. And yeah, can't wait to see everyone at the LAN event. See you next week for the Last Chance Qualifier and see these two lovely people at the LAN.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and yeah, thank you for being with me, Nieranto. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks, same.
Cool. We'll sign off now then. Have a good rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'll be staying outside, yeah, so I don't think about life, yeah. Can you send me a light, 'cause I can't take it, I can't take it. You got me feeling alright, yeah. Every day by your side, yeah. Can you send me a light, 'cause I can't take it, I can't take it. I don't wanna think about it every day. You know that you kinda wanna feel the same way. So much time, you just had to pretend. I've been so lost, I just wanna run away. Run away right now. I gotta go, I'm wasting my attention. You've been on my mind, I could touch the sky. Starless, I'll be running up and down, trying to think about you all the time. I don't really need to apologize. I know, I just feel like it. I'll be staying outside, yeah, so I don't think about life, yeah. Can you tell me a lie, 'cause I can't take it, I can't take it. You got me feeling alright, yeah. Every day by your side, yeah. Can you tell me a lie, 'cause I can't take it, I can't take it.
I want your touch in every way. I can't give it up. Anything just to feel the rush. This just ain't enough.